Hello YouTubers, just making a video response to The View in heated debate over teaching creationism. Now, some of the points that were made in the video were, fairly reasonable, pretty simplistic, but it's The View. One of the things which really sort of made me want to respond is the use of the phrase Darwinists or Darwinism. Particularly the phrase Darwinism. Now, they go on about schools teaching Darwinism. I kind of take some exception to this. What schools teach Darwinism? What is Darwinism? This phrase, this corruption of Darwin's name, seems to be this get out of jail free sort of card for the limited of imagination. It just really irks me that this phrase keeps getting thrown around, Darwinist and Darwinism. That essentially means absolutely shag all. It really does. It means absolutely nothing. And the reason I say this, right, okay, is because the whole idea of Darwinism or Darwinists is about trying to defame scientific-minded people. Now, creationism tends to have a real problem with biology. Specifically with evolution. Now, the whole kind of ideas with evolution are a real problem for creationists. So, but the problem is there's an awful lot more in science that's out there which creates problems for the creationist. So, instead of having to reject multiple sciences, whether that be physics, cosmology, genetic sciences, biology, and pretty much any other science that you can think of. It's easier to sort of lump all those disparate areas of science into one and call it Darwinism. Now, it's not useful to do that, because for scientific people anyway, but for creationists it's very useful to do that, because that means they've got one target, they've got one straw man to carry their torches to, and to try and tackle all those disparate areas of science, all those disciplines of science, and make it look like they're only going after the one thing, which makes them seem that little bit more reasonable. Of course, to anyone who sort of understands even the first thing about Charles Darwin's theory of natural selection, knows it doesn't include cosmology. They don't know it doesn't include geology. They know it doesn't include how the planets formed. All those areas are covered in very different parts of science, and it's just an absolute testament to the lack of scientific education that so many people actually carry this label. And it really does. It's one of the things that disappoints me about Richard Dawkins, when he quite happily describes himself as a Darwinist. Now, I sort of realise why he's doing it, and he's trying to redefine that that label, I guess, in much the same way as gay people would take on the on the word queer, but I don't necessarily think that's a particularly helpful thing. That's my opinion, I guess. But yeah, this whole kind of phrase of schools teaching, whole idea, I should say, of schools teaching Darwinism is just so backwards and ill-defined and ill thought out, and it's just a soundbite, which is not surprising from the view, I guess. I mean, it's not exactly what you would describe as a particularly highbrow piece of entertainment. They make some good, interesting points, I guess, but they're little more than commentators. And I wish the whole kind of phrase Darwinism would be dropped, or at least come up with a sensible definition of it. Spaghetti Nightmare out.